So just a minute, let me share my today's presentation slide. So today we will going to study the topic packet switching. So this is very important topic in the computer networking, and its major role is in unit 4 when we going to study the IP addressing. So before we are going to start the packet switching, let us first discuss what does the switching concept mean. So the mechanism for exchange of information between different computer networks and network segments is called as switching in networking. So basically it meant for the exchange of information between different computer networks. So a computer network consists of many computers, and switching is being used for transferring or exchanging the information between different computer networks. So, switching in a computer network is achieved by using device named switch or switches. So, that's why its name comes as switching, because here we are using the device called switch. Switching is transparent to the user and does not require any configuration in the home network. So it is a transparent process and it can be easily seen by the user. Packet collision is minimum as it directly communicates between the source and destination. So that is the advantage of switching. So it is operated in full duplex mode. We already know that there are three modes. One is the simplex, then the half duplex, and then the full duplex mode. So switching works on the principle of full duplex mode, in which we can send and receive the data and the information at the same time. So this is the introduction of switching. So moving to the next slide. Now why we develop the switching concept. So switching concept is developed because of the following reason. So the first reason is bandwidth. So let us say, what does the bandwidth mean? So bandwidth is defined as the maximum transfer rate of a cable. So it is very critical and an expensive resource. So therefore switching technique are used for the effective utilization of the bandwidth of a network. So, in order to utilize the bandwidth of a network in a more efficient way, we use switching concept. The next point is collision. So, as all of us know that collision is the effect that occurs when more than one device transmits the message over the same physical media and they collide with each other. So, to overcome this problem, switching technology is implemented so that packets do not collide with each other. So these are the two concepts for which we are using the switching. First is to effectively utilize the bandwidth, and the second is to overcome the problem of collision. So these are the two concepts. So all of you understand it, just write in the chat box so that we can proceed further. Okay. Now moving on. Now the advantages of switching. So the first advantage is it increases the bandwidth of the network. The second advantage is it reduces the workload on individual PCs, means individual personal computers, as it sends the information to only that device which has been addressed. So it sends the data to only the device or the intended recipient only. So that's why it reduces the workload. The third point, the third advantage is it increases the overall performance of the network by reducing the traffic on the network. So the overall performance is improved with the use of switching. The fourth advantage is there will be less frame collision, as switch creates the collision domains for each connection. So as we discussed in the previous slides, that it reduces the collision. So these are the important advantages of switching. Now moving to the next slide. But there are certain disadvantages of switching also. So the first disadvantage is a switch is more expensive than the network bridge. So basically the cost of using switching is more. The second disadvantage is a switch cannot determine the network connectivity issues easily. So this is the other disadvantage of switching, because switching depends on the device named as switch, and switch cannot determine the network connectivity issue easily. The third disadvantage is proper designing and configuration of the switch are required to handle the multicast packet, because as we already discussed, the multicast feature, that a sender can send the packet to particular members in a group. So that's so in the case of switching, the proper designing and configuration of switch is very much important in order to design the switch so that it can handle the multicast packets. So these are the certain disadvantages of switching. So moving to the next slide. Now comes the concept of switching. So this diagram is very important. So as you can see here, the switching techniques are basically divided into three types of switching. So first is the circuit switching, second is the message switching, third is the packet switching. And out of these three switching, the packet switching are mostly used in the case of internet, and your and in and packet switching is basically in your unit 2. Circuit switching is further divided into two types. One is the space division switching, and second is the time division switching. Uh, in the same way, packet switching is also further categorized into datagram approach and virtual circuit approach. Virtual circuit approach is further categorized into two types. One is the switched virtual circuit approach, which is abbreviated as SVC, and other is the permanent virtual circuit approach, which is abbreviated as PVC. So in the unit 2 syllabus of computer network, we are going to study only the packet switching, because circuit switching and message switching are not covered in the unit 2 of your syllabus. So moving forward to the next slide. So now we are going to discuss what does packet switching mean. So the packet switching is a switching technique in which the message is sent in one go, but it is divided into smaller pieces and they are sent individually. So the smaller pieces are called as the packets. So the message is split into smaller pieces known as packets, and these packets are given unique number to identify their order at the receiving end. So this is the basic concept of packet switching. So just move into the next slide so that you can understand it better. So as you can see in the diagram, so let us discuss how packet switching works. So as you can see here, we have a terminal or a computer system A with name A, and there is a receiver with name B. So A wants to send its data and it is or message, and it is divided into 4 packets numbered as 1, 2, 3, and 4. And these packets are being received from the receiver. And here, as you can see here, the order is not in the serial order. So the receiver is receiving the packets in the order 1, 1, 3, 4, and 2. But we are giving the packets the unique number so that the receiver can further arrange these packets according to their serial numbers. So at the sender side, it it wants to send the packets. So the packets 1 and 4 take the path this from S1 node to S2 node, and the packets 2 and 3 send the will take the path from S1 to S3. So as it goes to S2, the packet 1 and 4, they further take other paths. So packet 1 takes the path from S2 to S4, whereas the packet 4 takes the path from S2 to S3. And so at the receiver side, as you can see here, the packet 1 takes the path from S4 and then to S6. And after S6, the packet 1 will will reach to the receiver. And as you can see here, all the packets take different path, and at the receiver's end, it is being received in a random order. So as we are given the unique identification number to each packet, so the receiver task is to arrange these packets in the serial order. So that's how the packet switching works. So all of you understand it? Just write in the chat box. This is the whole working process of the packet switching. And this concept has been applied in the case of internet. Our message is divided into small packets, and these packets are given numbers, and at the receiver's end, the receiver will arrange these packets according to the number given. So moving to the next slide. Now, the next topic is approaches of packet switching. So there are 2 approaches to packet switching. So one is the datagram packet switching and the other is the virtual circuit switching. So we already discussed this in the previous slide of the switching techniques in the switching techniques diagram. That there are basically 2 approaches of packet switching. One is the datagram packet switching and other is the virtual circuit switching. So just remember these approaches of packet switching. So moving to the next slide. Now let us discuss first the datagram packet switching. So here packet is known as the datagram and is considered as the independent entity. So each packet contains the information about the destination, and switch uses this information to forward the packets to the correct destination. So that we already see in the working of packet switching diagram. So the packets are reassembled at the receiving end in the correct order. So in datagram packet switching technique, the path is not fixed. Here the path which the packet is taken is not fixed. So they can every packet can take any path. So intermediate nodes take the routing decisions to forward the packets. So as we see there, the intermediate node in the diagram like S1, S2, S3, so they are taking the path or the route to the packet through the routing decisions. So datagram packet switching is also known as the connectionless switching. So this type of switching is also called as the connectionless switching. So these are the important points related to the datagram packet switching. Now moving to the next slide. Now the next popular approach of packet switching is virtual circuit switching. So virtual circuit switching is also known as the connection oriented switching. So just remember that virtual circuit switching is follow the connection oriented switching, and the datagram circuit switching is also known as the connectionless switching. In the case of virtual circuit switching, a pre-planned route is established before the message are sent. So before sending the message in the virtual circuit switching, we need to plan the route from which the packets are sent from the sender to the receiver. The next point is call request and call accept packets are used to establish the connection between the sender and the receiver. So first, before start sending the packet, the sender must send the call request packet to the receiver, and after in the same way the receiver send the call accept packet to the sender after receiving all the packets. So in this case, the path is fixed for the duration of a logical connection. So in the case of virtual circuit switching, the path is fixed for certain duration in which the packets are sent from the sender to the receiver. So these are some of the important points related to the virtual circuit switching. So moving to the next slide. Now there are certain comparison points for the datagram virtual circuit switching, and for the datagram packet switching and the virtual circuit packet switching. So the first point is circuit setup. So in the case of datagram, so only 5 minutes are remaining, so we will discuss this comparison chart. So in the case of datagram, there is no need for circuit setup, but in the case of virtual circuit, there is a requirement for the circuit setup. The second point is addressing. In the case of datagram, each packet contains the full source and full destination address. In the case of virtual circuit, each packet contains the virtual circuit number. VC is the short form of virtual circuit. The third point of difference is state information. So routers, in the case of datagram, routers do not hold state information about connections. But in the case of virtual circuit, each virtual circuit requires router table space per connection. The fourth point of difference is routing. So in the case of datagram, each packet is routed independently, as we already discussed in the diagram previously. But in the case of virtual circuit, route chosen when virtual circuit is set up. After that, all packets follow that path or that route. The fifth point of difference is effect of router failure. In the case of datagram, none router failure is there, because it accepts for packet lost during the crash. Whereas in the case of virtual circuit, all virtual circuit that passed through the failed router are terminated. The sixth point of difference is quality of service. In the case of datagram, the quality of service is difficult, whereas in the case of virtual circuit, it is easy if enough resources can be allocated in advance for each virtual circuit. The seventh point of difference is congestion control. In the case of datagram, the congestion control is difficult, whereas in the case of virtual circuit, the congestion control is easy if enough resources can be allocated in advance for each virtual circuit. So that's it for today's class, and it completes the unit 2 of your syllabus. So in the next class, we will going to start the next unit of your syllabus. So thank you very much for attending this class. So now you can leave this meeting.